This is Joe Leigh for Seconds Out, and today I'm joined by Grime MC, Grim Sickers. I know you've been in the studio a lot recently. There's a lot to talk about, but first of all, thanks for taking the time to speak to us.
Yeah, man, look.
Cool. So, let's start with some boxing because the last few weeks...
man, I'm a big fan of the channel, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so the last few weeks, there's been a lot of news coming out, obviously with Jamel Herring versus Carl Frampton being postponed. We'll talk about that in a bit. But AJ versus Fury, it's not looking like long until it gets fully announced. Let's start big. I want your predictions and I want you to talk us through the fight because they've both had a huge last couple of years with some huge fights as well. So what are your predictions going into one of the biggest fights in British boxing history?
I've always been Tyson Fury, just from the word go, man. I've really been a big fan of Tyson Fury. But not to say, like, in this situation, I think you've got to put one boxer, pick up another boxer to put another boxer down. I think that they both can win the fight. I think Anthony Joshua is a great boxer. I think Tyson Fury is a great boxer. I just think Tyson Fury is the better boxer. I think he's got the better boxing brain. I think he's had the better competition, maybe like not as much, but his two biggest ones really, I think weighs more than like Joshua's whole CV, which a lot of people wouldn't agree with me. But I mean, those two Wilder fights were sensational to do. I just think Fury's got a little bit more heart as well, a bit more in him, gypsy blood, and I think those factors will play big in the fight. I do also think that if whoever wins, it won't be by much. It's going to be a good fight, man. I can't wait to look forward to it.
And do you think the difference in level of opponents, for example, Anthony Joshua's fought probably a bit less level, but it's been more steady, whereas Tyson Fury is Wilder and Klitschko, but then other than that, the opponents aren't at a high level as AJ are.
Yeah, well, if you see like Joshua's win against Povetkin's looking better by the opponent that for Povetkin fights, the way that Joshua dealt with Povetkin. So I think that was a good win for him. Obviously, I think Parker's a good win. I thought Klitschko was a good win. Charles Martin was even a good win because he's on a good comeback trail at the moment. So yeah, I think there's no one in front of Joshua that I ever thought that could beat him. Obviously, Ruiz, we had a little, but I think with Fury, he always went to someone's back garden, and they was always the champion, and the judges weren't on his side, and the fans might not have been on his side, especially in Wilder 1. So I just think it was more of a task from Fury, if you know what I mean.
No, definitely. And especially with the fact that Anthony Joshua went to America and didn't come away with the victory, it makes Tyson Fury's victories on away soil even more impressive.
Much more impressive, man. And I still think Joshua's got a lot to prove to American fans, and I still think he's got to go there as an away fighter and get a big win. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be against Tyson Fury, and I still think he can go over there and I still think Joshua is. I think it's number one versus number two in the whole division. I think Joshua would beat Usyk. I think Joshua would beat Joe Joyce. I think Joshua would beat Wilder. So I still think I think Fury would win. There's still a big fights for both of them out there as well. I would like to see him go away and beat someone as well.
What do you think's the most exciting fight in the heavyweight division right now? For me, it's none other than Joshua versus Wilder.
Or other than this, do you know what? I'm really looking forward to Usyk and Joyce. You know. I think Joyce is gonna beat Usyk, man. I really do. I think Joyce is.
He's underrated.
Like people are steeping on Joyce, man. Easy that work for no one. But Joshua Wilder, he's underrated. I think the jab. I think he's got a magnificent jab on him. I think he's going to be too big for Usyk, and I think he's got an engine on him like no one can see. And it's clear to see he's got a chin on him as well. I mean, there's not much more He might not be pretty on the boxing casual eye, but the boxing man know that Joyce can do a thing. But go back to your one, Joshua and Wilder. I think Wilder's like lost a lot of fans, man. I think he's ruined his career. Not ruined his career, but he's tainted his career by the way he's not accepted defeat. So I hope Joshua batters Wilder still.
I agree with you, and I feel as if the fact that he didn't come out like a champion after losing to Tyson Fury the second time was where he lost a lot of fans, because after the first fight, you look at it and you think, yeah, that builds up a second fight nicely. And obviously Wilder's going to say he's won because you've got to build up the second fight. But when you get smoked like that against Wilder in the against Tyson in the second fight, and you start blaming your suit, you start blaming your trainer Mark Breland, that's just like, that's not acceptable. And I don't blame people for not supporting him no more.
Yeah, and it was excuse after excuse, and not once did you say he got beat by the better man. And if you're lying to yourself, man, then how can we support someone that's got such low morals and that will like sack his whole team? And we can't support someone like that. Boxing's a man's sport, and women, but as a man, like,
no, I get
you got to do better than that, man. So
I get where you're coming from, and obviously,
so yeah.
A big fight coming up that's just been announced is Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. I know you're a fan of Billy Joe Saunders.
Can't wait.
Song. Listen, a lot of the UK fans
are
behind Billy Joe Saunders and really do think he has a chance in this. I want to get your take on it.
I think he can. I think he can do the impossible as well, man. I think obviously if you get a fair crack of the whip with the judges, everyone knows you got to knock Canelo out to get a draw. If you got fair judges, and I found out today there's one English judge, one Mexican judge, and a random judge as well.
Okay.
So I think he can beat it on the night, man. I think you got to see Billy at his best. I think Canelo's got to be like not at his best. I think he can frustrate him. I think he can get in the pocket, get out. I don't think he'll quit as easy as Yildirim, or I don't think that I think he'll give a better fight than Callum Smith did. I go back to the Lara fight and the Mayweather fight, the Nippy fight, is that gave Canelo problems. I feel like if Billy can watch that, and then on his night, man, like Billy can beat anyone, and he's a world-class operator, and I'm hoping he can do the impossible, man. I really think that Gypsy Blood will come into the play that night, and I think we could see an upset, but I'm not sure if he'll get the decision. I think he'll have to do a lot to get the decision.
That's a shame, isn't it? Because we're obviously both hardcore boxing fans, and it's disappointing that when we talk about the big fights, sometimes you have to play the judges into factor. It shouldn't be like that, but is what it is.
It shouldn't be, but it's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? It's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? Like, we know, like what fight did I watch the other day? I watched who got. Do you know what was the big upset on the matchroom card the other day? Kiko Martinez versus Barrett.
The judges. Sorry, yeah, Kiko Martinez, Zelfa Barrett. Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, I thought Kiko Martinez won that.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, I love boxing so much, man. It's my passion outside music. So when I see stuff like that, I must think, like, the fighters go through these camps, right? And then you get done like that. I mean, who's going to come to UK at the moment and give anyone a fight over it, on a matchroom card especially? That's why they get these Mexicans over that no one's heard of, and that's why they're beating us, man. That's what's going on right now.
And
yeah, Billy, go back to Billy, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to do it, mate. I think we got enough time. I think, like, normally he might give you a 6-week camp, Canelo, man, but it's quite generous. He gave him an extra 2 weeks. And I saw Billy the other day. Do you think he looks in shape as well? Because he was saying that he's 14, 15 stone on another channel, but I could see he was lying a bit, man.
Trust me, Billy Joe Saunders knows.
I think he was just playing dumb.
He knows what he's doing. This is the biggest fight of his life. He turned down this fight. I think it was late 2020 when Callum Smith was meant to fight him because he wanted the right amount of time to train. Billy Joe Saunders knows what he's doing. He's trying to play the mind games, I think.
Do you think Billy is being a bit too inactive though?
Listen, when you look at Canelo right now, obviously he fought last week, then he fought in December against Callum Smith, but he got the rounds in that night, and I think that was the important thing. Of course, being active is vital when you're fighting pound for pound, number one. There's no question about that, and there's a chance there could be a small amount of ring brush, but he went the distance for a reason against Martin Murray, and I feel as if he's going to be in shape, and I don't think it'll play a big part, to be honest.
With Billy's performance against Martin Murray, I was worried because he looked a bit rusty in there, and I know he's better than that. And I just hope, man, that he's got the right sparring for Canelo. But do you know Canelo's such an intelligent fighter, man? Like, when he was aiming for Callum Smith's arms
He's the best.
against that, I thought that was a stroke of genius, man. I thought that was a genius move, man. He like got rid of that left arm. He couldn't do the left uppercut, what Smith's capable of. And I was thinking, flipping hell, man, like who would have thought to do that against Callum Smith, man? Like I thought it was a genius idea. And what I saw the other day when Canelo was asked about Saunders, he said Saunders is easy work. They're looking over Saunders, past Caleb Plant into Benavidez, man. That's what it sounds like to me. Like that they're already like not even looking at Saunders. So I might think that could be his biggest downfall, if you ask me.
If I was 100% with you, I feel Billy Joe Saunders is the type of fighter to not be 100% when he's fighting the likes of Martin Murray, and he's saving stuff so that when he's fighting the likes of Canelo, he hasn't shown like the full props in his armory.
Do you reckon?
I think that's a possibility.
Do you reckon it's Lemieux? Do you reckon Lemieux is like Billy's best performance? Because I think Andy Lee was a good performance as well. And if he performs like that,
he's had some great fights, and he's had the spotlight on him many times now. Obviously, fighting in Stevenage, fighting Eubank Jr. He's had the spotlight on him enough times, and I don't think it'll be one of those where he'll get put off by the occasion. But only time will tell. I think there's some stuff he's been hiding for this fight because he knows this is the fight.
I think
he has to have everything on ready for.
He's like that. He's actually like. I don't think the Americans know. Like he's actually that good.
Yeah.
He's like. I don't think the Americans are cottoned on how good Billy is.
Yeah.
And we know, but I don't think they know how good Billy is, man. He's the slickest southpaw you ever come against, man.
Yeah.
And if he does this against Canelo and wins, he'll go down as the greatest ever, man.
If he did that against Canelo, regardless,
the greatest ever, man.
He'll gain so much love just for doing that.
He will do it, innit?
Even if he wins one round and does that in the round he wins, people will just love him for it.
Yeah, I think so as well, man. But yeah, hopefully, man, I'm going for Billy. My heart says Billy. I've got a gut feeling. I don't think we should write him off as easy as people are writing him off, man, because they've already got Caleb Plant penciled in for September, which I think is a silly mistake, man. And they haven't got a rematch clause, which Canelo, you should get a rematch clause against Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, 100%, man. Next fight, Chisora Parker. That's looking like it's going to happen potentially middle of the year. I'm not too sure the dates yet, but it's a huge fight if it happens. Has Chisora got enough left? Is Parker going to defeat Chisora? It's a good fight.
No, but Parker's nothing special, man. It is, but Parker against that far. What's the FA guy? I woke up last Saturday. I watched it in the morning.
That was just
a shocking fight.
Yeah, that was more for promotional side of things. I don't think anyone expected Parker to lose that. It wasn't as if it was a tough test in my eyes.
No, but it was an awful fight. I think Parker's. Do you know what? I think Parker, has had his chances, man. You've had a fight with Josh. You had a fight with Dillian. Now you're fighting Chisora. I think time's gone past Parker, man. Like, how the hell you had the WBO all them years ago? I don't know, man. I don't know how the bout ended up over. I think he's overrated. I think Joe Joyce would knock Parker out, man. I think Chisora beats Parker.
I think that's a very close fight.
I'm not impressed by Parker. What, Parker and Chisora?
Parker and Chisora is a very, very close fight. I think Joe Joyce beats Parker, but Chisora Parker's a lot closer than I can't even begin to.
It is, but that's Parker's level though. Right? Like, I don't know why Parker was having these big fights anyway, like 2018, 2017. I know he had the bout, but that was above his level, I thought, man. I think since he's rebuilt himself and come back, I think there's a lot of other like Michael Hunters and people that can give like I've seen more in them Parker than I see in Parker.
And Dillian White.
And I hope.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah, Dillian White. It was. Everyone goes on about that 12th round, bro. But what happened in the other 11 rounds? Do you know what I mean? Everyone always talks about the last round, but I hope that Chisora and Parker's not on pay-per-view. I don't think that fight should be on pay-per-view, man.
Talk on that.
Why should it be on pay-per-view?
Yeah, well, because obviously it's a big topic among like the boxing community. To be honest, like the views Chisora brings in, if you're a business and you're Matchroom, you're Eddie Hearn, it makes sense because I'm paying for that. Like I won't pay for obviously Warrington Lara, you're not going to pay for that, but there's certain level of fights and Chisora brings numbers. I feel it's pay-per-view worthy, and I think it's
it's but
exciting fight as well. It's not going to be Parker boxing long on the outside. You can tell Chisora always comes to bang.
Yeah, he does, and we love Derek when we do. War Chisora 2.0, we love him, but Parker first Chisora, I don't think should be pay-per-view. Number one is because it won't be for any title. Number two, I think. Is it even a title eliminator? What's even on the line?
Sorry, say that again.
What's even on the line for Parker versus Chisora?
To be honest, I feel it'll just be if
WBO ranking maybe.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously, you've got Usyk and Joe Joyce, winner of that's fighting for the WBO, and then Deontay Wilder's going to want to fight for a belt ASAP as well. So whoever wins that, it's not like they're going to get a title fight soon because Joshua and Fury are going to fight twice. That takes up this year.
Yeah.
And next year, it's either Joyce, Usyk or Deontay Wilder. So for Chisora or Parker, it's in the past.
Maybe the winner should fight Wilder, isn't it, really?
And that's a big fight to get Wilder back up to the level and maybe gain a bit more respect from the people who lost respect for him.
But it's a bit of a long route, though. But it shows the healthy state of heavyweight boxing. But to be in that fight, it's a bit like I'm hearing that Hrgovic is fighting Michael Hunter. Is that still in the mix as well? I'm hearing Charles Martin is mandatory for a bout as well.
Nah, you can't. For me, you can't mention Charles Martin in there. Like the way he won the world title.
No, but he's a mandatory though. I don't know if it's true.
I know, but that's like you can't be like he should not be mandatory. That's what I'm saying. Like, he should.
No way.
Out of all the people we've just mentioned, Charles Martin should be bottom of that list.
Oh, of course, and I would say he should be bottom as well. But who did he beat? He beat
He could
Washington,
fight Daniel Dubois. I feel like that'd be a good fight for Daniel Dubois.
I think Dubois should ease in someone a bit that's not been on the world stage a bit. I think Dubois maybe versus I'm not too sure. Someone like
Fabio Wardley.
What's that guy
Fabio Wardley?
Yeah. Who's Fabio Wardley fighting? Molina, isn't it? Molina would have been a good shot.
There's plenty.
Or Brazil. I think Brazil, man. I think he should.
Brazil Dubois, if he can't fight Martin, then he can't fight Brazil, I don't think.
Now, Brazil's awful, man. Brazil is probably the worst heavyweight right now, man.
You know what
I think?
I don't think, in terms of skill, Deontay Wilder's the worst heavyweight, surely.
Yes, but that bang covers like he's still at 97. Boxing,
I hear what you're saying, yeah. But
Fabio Wardley versus Molina is good as well. That's a good fight.
Definitely. The heavyweight picture right now is definitely very fresh. Let's move on to lightweight division. The fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are calling them. It's like the four kings back in the day with the welterweights.
Yeah.
You've got Teofimo Lopez. You've still got Lomachenko. You've got Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis. Who's number one lightweight right now for you? Devin Haney as well.
Teofimo, just because it's the win. And do you know what? I'm such a fan of him as a man. Yeah. Like his integrity to me is incredible, man. Like he's a good guy, man, and he sold me as a friend. But I don't like the way everyone's writing off Lomachenko, man. I think Lomachenko's still number two, and I still think Lomachenko can beat Teofimo Lopez if they ever had another fight, man. So I don't like ruling that out. But yeah, Teofimo.
I was going to say that
number one for right now.
People have definitely disrespected Lomachenko since that loss. And listen, he didn't throw a punch until what was it? Eighth or seventh, eighth round.
Eighth, yeah.
No, it was definitely after the sixth. And to see like the pound for pound number one at the time do that, I'm still confused as to what he was doing. He said he had a little injury. I don't know if that was just an excuse, but regardless, you can have an off night, and he had an off night at the top.
Do you think?
He's back. He'll be back. And he called out Devin Haney, I think, yesterday or something. So rank the top 5 lightweights for me.
Devin Haney, number 5.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Ryan Garcia, number 4.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia, number 4. Gervonta 3, Lomachenko, then Teofimo.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. And I think the biggest fight
Really?
to make is probably Davis versus Garcia, isn't it? Just because they're both got a big name. That's some mouth-watering action. And I feel like obviously they both want the fight, that's for definite. But at the end of the year, maybe next year, it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, do you think Gervonta might be a bit too small for Ryan Garcia though? Even though I do rate Davis above him, Ryan Garcia he's showing weaknesses, man. Like he can get hit, but I feel like he can drop Davis as well. I know it sounds weird, but I feel like if he caught Davis, I don't know if Davis will be able to handle it, man.
The thing is, obviously, it's weird because you know how we were talking about like the politics in boxing and everything like that. Gervonta Davis fought for a lightweight belt when he was fighting at super featherweight, remember, against Leo Santa Cruz?
I know, man.
Ridiculous. But yeah, in terms
that was crazy, isn't it?
Ryan Garcia, for me, he's obviously a bit bigger, but the fact that he came off the deck in round 2 against Luke Campbell like that, he didn't even flinch.
Fucking balls and run it.
He got sat down and came straight back up and looked better than he has done before because the men
big balls, man. And do you know what, man? I was disappointed in Luke, man. I don't know where Luke can go from here, man. Like Luke's not a quitter, but he got made look very average that day. And do you know what I want to bring up, man? Like the Mexicans are giving us a bad day at the moment. You know, it's upsetting me as well.
It is, but
it's upsetting me a lot.
That's what I love about the sport of boxing. I love Mexican fighters as well. Like the fact that a lot of Mexicans come from nothing, and boxing is their only hope in becoming in reaching their dreams and things like that. Even in terms of football as well, the Mexican spirit in a boxing ring is just something else. So when Lara wins, when who beat Robbie Davis Jr.? He's Valenzuela.
Oh yeah, that guy.
As well. Like you see that
guy.
Yeah, and that attitude, and I like them, but at the same time, yeah, they're coming over doing the job. And I think,
can I put something out in that fight? I saw Dominic Ingle telling him to stay at Southpaw, but I'm not the boxing expert. But I thought he didn't look comfortable there, and he was saying to him, "I want to go back to my normal orthodox stand." And Dominic weren't letting him. Is anyone speaking on that, or did I? Was I? I don't know.
No,
if
a lot of
people
spoke on that, and I think.
Okay.
Dom knows what he's doing, so
of course
I don't want to speak too much on it, but it was strange, and I think
I'm not knocking Dom either, man. But I was observing, and I thought, what would the fighter do? Like if he feels it's not working, but the trainer's saying it's working, but you're getting hit and your head's in the line. So
yeah.
So I don't know. I've never seen it before, and it was quite intriguing to hear.
Yeah, 100%. What division are we going to next? I feel like there's a couple more left. Let's go to welterweight. Let's get Crawford Spence over because it's probably never going to happen. But
it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It's such a shame, man. I'm a Spence man, by the way, and I know how technically good Crawford is, and I know what Crawford can do. And I think Crawford's amazing, and the way he dismantled Kell Brook was even made me be a bigger fan of him more than I was before. But I've always been a Spence fan, and I think it's too late in the day for me to change. So I still think man down when it comes to that. Fight. What about you? Who do you reckon?
I'm on Team Crawford, and that's just not knocking Spence at all because they're both the best at what they do. But if that fight doesn't happen, just looking at. I'm thinking it because I always think this through. I look at Crawford and then I look at Spence, but Spence has probably the better resume. Crawford doesn't have that big a name on his record.
Yes.
So, but then
I think
to come back.
Brook's a good name though.
He's boxed decent names, but that knockout on Kell Brook with a jab is just silly.
I'm a big Kell Brook fan, you know. I love Brook, man.
Yeah.
I want him to beat Eubanks up and retire. I would love it if he beat Chris Eubanks and retire. I love it, bro.
It's been so long.
I'm a Khan fan as well, but Khan, he's put a bit of weight as well. I see him the other day, he's looking quite big. Yeah. But I think that fight's gone, man. But I want him to fight Eubanks, man. I think he'll do Eubanks easy as well, man.
What weight? Middle?
That's a great question. I was thinking about that the other day. Maybe 154, man. Maybe they could meet in the middle, but I don't think Eubanks will get down to 154.
Couldn't imagine Eubank getting down to super welter anymore, but
nah.
If it was to happen, I feel like that'd be good. If we're talking about Eubank Jr. coming down, he might as well fight Conor Ben and meet at 154.
Yeah.
Just
man.
the shadow of their dads.
I like, who's that guy beat Josh Kelly? I like him, you know. I think he can do. I think he can. If one of them two vacate a title, I think he's in the shout. You know, what's his name?
David Avanes.
Yeah, he's in for a shot. If Crawford or if Spence moves up, right, and he didn't fight Crawford or Spence, that geezer could win a world title at that weight. I'm telling you, yeah, bad mate.
No, definitely. There's many exciting fights in that division, but to be honest, that's the only fight I want to see right now, and it's just annoying it won't happen. But
like Ryan Garcia's fighting Pacquiao as well. That's what they're saying today. I've seen it on Michael Benson's Twitter.
Yeah, he's the man with the knowledge, so I can trust that. Is that an exhibition?
Nah, just for a title fight, man. That's Ryan Garcia said it's getting announced in a couple of days.
That's big. That's very big.
I don't think Garcia's a 147, man. I don't like seeing him fight. I'd rather see him fight the winner of Taylor and Ramirez, bro, for all the marbles. I don't know what he's doing up there.
But in terms of his legacy, in terms of just getting a big fight, obviously money as well, the audience is going to gain from fighting a legend like Pacquiao. Like, he looked up to Pacquiao as well, so I understand the reason behind it. And he's so young, so it's not like he can't go back down to lightweight. Before I let you go, just a couple more questions left about your boxing bars and boxing songs. I want to know what your favourite boxing lyric was that you've done, and your favourite boxing related song as well. I know you got a few of those. I like the one with Big Zoo and Eyes boxing bars remix. That one was pretty cold. But yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, that one's alright. I've done that. Probably that one as well, man. That's probably my favourite one, man. Mm-hmm. I'm inspired a lot about boxing, so it's always in my lyrics. But recently, I've been going so deep in it, people think I don't even understand what I'm saying. So I need to turn it down a little bit, to be fair.
Have you got a favourite lyric relating boxing or?
Too many, man. I can't even think of one right now, bro. Too many. All of them, bro. Anything I say, I think it's quite clever with boxing.
No, that's good, man. It's good to hear. I know you're making some new music as well. When can people expect that to be coming out?
End of this month, man. Got a lot of music with a lot of big UK artists. So when the festivals and that come and see me play, man, just shout me and I'll bring you to a show.
100%, man. I appreciate it. I'll be getting in contact for sure. And same goes whenever you want to come on and talk about a big fight.
Yeah, all right then, bro. Thank you. I think, bro, seriously, man, it's probably one of my better interviews, man. You make me feel good, man. You're good at the job, man. I enjoyed it, man.
Appreciate that.